I understand nobody wants to give up on Tyrese Maxey. I understand Tyrese Maxey is the future. I understand keeping Tyrese Maxey, trying to build a championship team and keeping Tyrese Maxey is the ideal thing. Because if none of this process stuff works, if it's all turns into a giant fail, at least as you enter the next phase of the Philadelphia 76ers, at least you have Tyrese Maxey moving forward. But I have the perfect player that I would sadly say yes to in a Tyrese Maxey trade, and that is Donovan Mitchell. That is Donovan Mitchell because I need you to think about this for a second. Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz is 25 years old. Somebody in the chat already said hell no, but listen. Donovan Mitchell is 25 years old. Donovan Mitchell, last season, averaged 25.9 points per game. Donovan Mitchell is an absolute bucket. Not the greatest shooter in the world. His three-point percentage was 35% last year, but he's shot better than that. The year before, 38%, 36, 36, 34. But when you talk about Tyrese Maxey, the main thing people say about Tyrese Maxey is he has a potential to one day become a 25-point-per-game player. And that's the main reason nobody wants to trade Tyrese Maxey. The main reason nobody wants to trade Tyrese Maxey is because one day he could potentially become a 25-point-per-game player. Joel Embiid, right now, is in his prime. Every single season you waste is a wasted year of Joel Embiid's prime. Now, say what you want about Joel Embiid. Can he stay healthy? Can he this? Can he that? I don't know. Every time the playoffs come around, I know the story. I know. But Joel Embiid is so damn good when he's healthy, you can't give up. And every single season of Joel Embiid's prime, you have to make an attempt to win a championship. So if you think we can't trade Tyrese Maxey because one day in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, he could potentially become a 25-point-per-game player, I agree with you. Donovan Mitchell is 4 years older than Tyrese Maxey and is a 25-point-per-game player. 2019, he averaged 24 a game. 2020, he averaged 26.4 a game. Last year, he averaged 26 per game. So you would basically, in my opinion, be fast-tracking what Tyrese Maxey gives you right now. You would be trading Tyrese Maxey in a package that gives you back Tyrese Maxey in 5 years. Oh, no, I think I'm a genius. I think I'm a genius. If that's what you want Tyrese Maxey to be, instead of waiting for him to develop over the next 3, 4, 5 years and Joel Embiid being done, you trade for Donovan Mitchell right now. You pair Donovan Mitchell and Joel Embiid. Maybe James Harden takes a step back. Maybe James Harden gets back to what he was doing in Brooklyn last year. Maybe James Harden is the ultimate facilitator. Then when Joel Embiid's getting double-teamed, triple-teamed, quadruple-teamed, you don't necessarily have to rely on 33-year-old, one hamstring, party till 5 in the morning James Harden. You have a 26-point-per-game player in Donovan Mitchell. Sean Ford says, Mitchell wouldn't even average what he does now on Philly because he's the number one offensive player in Utah. Take away 5 points per game from Mitchell playing with Joel Embiid. I agree with that. I don't see a problem there. I understand he's the number one option on the Utah Jazz. Just saying he is a 25-point-per-game player. I didn't say he has to average 25 points per game on the Sixers. Or maybe he does. I don't know. People thought Joel's scoring would go down when we got James Harden. It actually went up. But yeah, like a trade package would have to include, some money. It would have to maybe be Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey, and draft picks maybe. Maybe there's 2 or 3 teams. You never know. But in a perfect scenario, the absolute probably only way I would trade Tyrese Maxey would be if somehow, some way, it lands Donovan Mitchell on my basketball team. I basically set up a Sixers trade ideas room in the Discord. If you would like to join the Discord, the link is in the description of this video and is pinned at the top of the chat on this live stream. And so I had you guys jump in this Sixers trade ideas room and post your best off-season Sixers trade ideas in there for me to react to on the show. So thank you to everybody that participated. Please do not go in the Sixers trade ideas room and post a bunch of nonsense or say random things. There is a sports talk room that is for general sports talk where we chop it up every day, back and forth. I join in there when I can. The guys keep the conversation going all the time in there. There's over 300 people in the Discord so far. But yeah, I try to keep the other rooms for their intended purposes. So if you go in the Sixers trade ideas room, just go in there, give your trade idea, and bounce. All right, so Joey W215 posts and said, we get our 3rd star and get off the Tobias contract and get Bogdanovich, who can play the 4 or the 3. Utah gets back a young guard who's going to be a stud, and Tobias Harris, who can help them. Still, at least he's a playoff. He is on a playoff team if they want to retool. I don't know what you meant there at the end. But basically, my guy Joey W215 posted in the Sixers trade ideas and proposed Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey for Donovan Mitchell and Bogdanovich using the ESPN trade machine. The trade is successful as far as contracts and money goes. And look, man, if Donovan Mitchell wants out and the Jazz are interested in moving him, obviously Tyrese Maxey is an amazing prospect. And the Sixers announcing that he's not available for trade just ups his trade value even more. Again, probably the only player I would trade him for would be Donovan Mitchell because he's 25 years old. He's a 25-point-per-game scorer. He averaged almost 6 assists per game last year. I like this trade, Joey, because you're also throwing in the Tobias Harris contract, and you're getting in return a veteran shooter in Bogdanovich. That's hard to say no to for me. That is hard to say no to for me. For you to get off the Tobias contract, sadly give up Tyrese Maxey, but in return, Donovan Mitchell and Bogdanovich added to this roster. And again, a lot of things depend on what James Harden looks like next season. But that one's hard for me to say no to. SLR in the chat says no. If you say no, I need to know why. Yukon456 says nobody is worth more than Maxey. I disagree completely. I already went over it a little bit, but I'm just saying Tyrese Maxey, you hope, can become a 25-point-per-game scorer. You're just speeding up the process. In hopes to win a championship in Joel Embiid's prime, you're getting 25-point-per-game Donovan Mitchell, who's only 25 years old. I think you would have to say yes to that. As sad as it would be to see Tyrese Maxey go, that's a great trade proposal, Joey. Thank you for that.